Hi everyone! Today's video comes from a special request by a good friend of mine. A while back I shared a simulation that blew his mind and now he wants a refresher. So I thought, why not share it with all of you too? Today I'm going to guide you through an eye-opening simulation that can significantly increase your productivity. If you're ready to rethink how you handle your workflow and take control of your output, you're in the right place. Many people believe that speeding up production will boost their output, but they often end up overwhelmed and less productive. The simulation will show you why controlling the inflow of tasks, requirements or projects rather than speeding things up is the key to success. Let's get started! We'll be using a simple traffic simulation tool to demonstrate how output or outflow is affected by speed, managing inflow and so forth. I'll walk you through setting it up and explain how each variable affects your workflow. By the end of this video, you'll see why stop starting, start finishing is the mantra you need to adopt. So fire up the traffic simulation, the link is in the description, and follow along. Voila, here we are. Let's start with doing something silly. Let's say the on-ramp flow, we put it to 0, meaning that we will have no interrupts, no bugs, no learning, no feedback to incalculate while executing upon new requirements, tasks or projects. And we are going to maximize the inflow. So we are going to start working as many projects, requirements as we can. This could be from just a plain kickstart of a project to the first minutes analyzing a requirement till they get out at the end of this flow here at the bottom and are done, really delivered in the hands of users. So we leave all the other variables as they are at this moment in time. So if we see this running now already for a couple of minutes, then you notice that at the bottom we get to a flow of 4, 6, 3, 6, 4, 3. So yeah, 4, 3, 3, 6. So something in 3, 6 to 4, 3 with maybe lower end of 3, 2 and things like that. Now that's the outflow we get with maximum inflow and having 0 of those things. Now let's see what happens if we speed up production. So we max out the speed of production to 160 here. Let's see what happens with the outflow at the bottom. So if we look at the outflow at the bottom, we see 4, 3, 3, 2, 3, 9, 4, 3, 3, 6. You see, with speeding up, we don't even get that much of impact or change in the output, even though we speed it up tremendously. And that's a bad signal, because at this moment and now people are stressed, we get to burnouts, people are leaving the company. Now it's a bad situation to max out on the speed in this scenario. And actually for this scenario we set that on the on-ramp inflow, so having to deal with bugs, defects or other surprises is 0. So we have none of them. It would mean that we have a perfect situation. Projects are executed upon perfectly without any defects. This is not reality, of course. So let's put in a couple of those. Let's say we put this on 600. So we have a couple of bugs, defects and interrupts to deal with at maximum speed and maximum inflow. You see at the bottom, ooh, everything starts to cramp up here, everything starts to slow down, we get to a complete standstill. And now if we still focus on speed, and we reduce the speed to the original one, so which was 108 by the way. So if we put to 108, and then we would wait now a while, a long time, see what is changing on this flow, you'll see that something started up, but it's not going to change that much. So let's refresh, let's start over again. So we have some bugs, defects, surprises to deal with. We have a maximum inflow and a speed which was reasonably high, but not too high, so that people are not getting stressed out or burned out, so 1.8. Let's refresh. Let's see what happens now. See, we get a decent flow of input. We don't see that much interrupts or blockages, or we don't see it coming to a standstill. And At the bottom you see we have 3, 6, 5, 4. So we might even think this is going smoothly now. 4, 6. Yeah, it's going to even go better than we had before. But the delayed effect is kicking in. So even though at the beginning we might have realized, wow, we have more output than we had at the beginning. So over time the delayed effect kicks in. And now you see we also get to stand still. So speed is not really the driver of getting things moving ahead. So we looked at the flow at the bottom. Now we saw that we are having 3, 6, 4, 3 as a general, but 3, 2 as a lower one. So let's put it on a 3, 2, the lower end of things. And now refresh. See if we get to the same standstill as we had before, shall we? If things are moving here, so we have a reasonable okay inflow, we have still surprises, learnings, bugs, defects, small change requests to deal with. And the speed is reasonably high but not too high, so we're not getting stressed out. You see we get to quite a significant and good flow of getting the work done and out at the end. So we still get the 3, 6, 3, 2, 5, 4, so it's definitely not bad at all, is it, in this scenario? So speed is not really the useful factor here. Controlling the inflow is actually the useful factor to make sure that you get to a decent and stable outflow at the end, as you can see in the simulation. Then again, in this simulation, you look at this, politeness. Politeness is set at 0.1, which means that we are in a slightly polite environment. If we reflect to this in our corporate environments, it would mean that we have everybody is perfectly aligned towards the same goals, the same vision, the same strategy. Collaboration is going very smoothly and things like that. And let's be honest, at least to my observations, most of the corporate environments, they have to deal with some level of corporate politics. They need to have to deal with some level of turf fights, like my department versus your department, my skill versus your skill. So they have departments that are not really aligned or set up to execute really well on their vision and strategy. And as such, we end up with a not so polite environment, is it? So let's make it a bit more real and change the politeness level to slightly less polite or a less aligned environment and see what is going to happen. Oh, you see at the bottom already there in a less polite, more political, less aligned or less good designed organization. Things are stamping up, slowing down. We get to chaos and misery all over again. So in this scenario, which is a bit more realistic in corporate environments, we might need to slow down the inflow even further ahead. So let's say that we put it around 1700. I think that's something we saw at the bottom as reasonable. So fixing it now will be difficult and will take a long time. As this video, we don't want to keep it running for half an hour. Let's refresh and see what happens in a clean slate. We already have an inflow of 1700. We have a reasonable speed ongoing. We still have defects to handle. And we have a not so polite environment. So if you see, there's still being some kind of slowdown at the end. The flow is 2100, 1800. So it's the 1700 is not even good enough at this moment in time. So let's put it down to 1500 and refresh. Let's see if this is getting us into a smooth flow of things. And here you see we have an outflow at the bottom of 1800, 2100. There's no stramping up at the bottom. So in this case, with a reasonable speed, with a less polite or less well-designed organization, we can handle about 1500 vehicles per hour as inflow instead of the 3200. So it's less than half than we had before in a very well-aligned and good designed organization. So this is surprising, isn't it? In order to have a smooth flow of work and maximize the outflow or output, one must design an organization aligned to the strategy one must execute upon, manage the inflow, stop starting, start finishing, and at least stop focusing on speed, unless you continuously want to widen up the road. In other words, hire more people to get the job done. You have seen, if you hire people and you don't manage the inflow and have a well-designed organization, then you'll get to chaos and standstill all over again, getting you to hire even more people all over again. And we all know that talent is not out there by the masses, so there are extreme limits to that systemic behavior. If you like this kind of content provided, then please do a thumbs up on the movie. It will help me to see what kind of content you like to see more of in the future. Speaking about the future, if you liked what you saw, you could also subscribe to my channel, ring the bell to get notified of future video releases. For more on designing an organization that is fit to execute upon any strategy, I would recommend you to join one of my Designing Agile Organization classes. The link is also in the description. For more on managing the inflow and get the most out of multiple teams working on the same product, I recommend you to join one of my certified less practitioner classes. Also, that link is in the description. Leaves me to say that I hope not only my friend that asked for this replay found the content useful, but all of you did as well. Thanks for watching and see you soon.